Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are all having a good day. Before I begin the presentation with Tracy and Aldine today, I'd like to review our customer conference with you and let you know that it will be in Indianapolis, Indiana on April 22nd and 23rd. And on your screen is a presentation of some information of our event that day, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to get registered if you haven't already. This is a free event for you to attend, so come connect with the community of like-minded BC NAV users, share your success stories, and exchange insights that will elevate your business strategies. You can build relationships, expand on your network, and unlock a future to brimming potential. So that will be April 22nd from noon to 5, and April 23rd, we have all day sessions. And again, this is a free event for you to attend, so register today if you haven't already. And now I'm going to turn it over to Tracy and Aldine, and they're going to begin our presentation on month-end reporting in Business Central.
Hi, everybody. How are you? Thanks for joining us today. I just want to go on camera for a short minute and say hi, and I'm going to start our month-end reporting. Let me share my screen. Share my screen. Okay, so I'm going to start with some basics, general ledger accounts, posting dates, things like that. So you want to make sure that you have all your necessary GL adjustments. Maybe if you have a bank statement, and you know you have some bank fees you need to make, you can make your general journal templates with that. I'm sure everyone knows, but I'm just going to go ahead and just do a general journal real quick for you. And you just come in here and you say, okay, I want to hit my bank fee. I'm just going to pick this one for now for the demo. You put in your amount and you apply it to your bank. And then you would post, and you can also override these descriptions just so you know, and you can say bank fee January 2025 if you'd like. And then you go ahead and post that. So you want to make sure all of your fees and any necessary adjustments are done. If you do use recurring journals, I suggest you go ahead and post those also. To be honest with you, I'm not sure if I have any in here, but we're going to look. So I do have one here. This is the journal. If you open it up, here's some entries. Now, this is reading 2021. Now, the way recurring journals work, it's based off your work date. So this work date or this posting day is not working with my work date. So I'm going to get an error. So you always want to make sure the day of this posting date is the day of your work date. If you don't know how to change your work date, you come into your settings and you can override that here. And then just always make sure you put it back. I really don't highly suggest changing that too much, but you can go back and forth with that. You want to run your adjust exchange rate services. So if you look at your currencies, get rid of that, I'm sorry. If you look at your currencies, you want to make sure that they're up to date here, and you can run your adjust exchange rates. So what this does is you can do your period for January, and any currency that did not, or a transaction that did not get adjusted to the correct currency in the time frame, you would run this, and you can adjust your customers, vendors, and once again, what's nice about this is that you have Copilot. You can always ask Copilot. Adjust employees if you're using the employees, and bank accounts, and you can add your GL accounts for additional reporting currencies if those are filled in at your GL account card. So you just come in here, you grab your currency you want to update, and here's your bank account, and so on. So you just scroll down, you can choose and filter to vendors, customers, employees, and you hit OK, and that's just going to adjust all your transactions to the proper currency rate for that time frame. So now we have financial reporting. There are a few different ways. BC has the financial reports here, and they are built in. You have your monthly balance, cash flow, income statement. A lot of customers might have their own built-in customized reports, but that definitely is a different session. But if you want to run this, you just come in here and you view your financial reporting. You can do this for day, week, month, year, accounting period. So this accounting period is reading 12/1. So if I go 12/24, 12/31, come down in here and you see here's some numbers. I don't have a lot of data in here, so that's probably why you're not seeing a whole lot. But if you do, you can drill down into these amounts, and this will take you exactly to the GL account, and it'll show you how it got to that change, that amount of the net change. Then what's even nicer, you can drill into that, and you can see the transactions that are making up that amount. Like I said, I don't have a lot of data in here. But from here, you can also export this to Excel. You can create a new template. If you already have one, you can update your existing template with your current dates. Just create a new template and boom, it's in your download. And of course, you can also print to PDF. So if we just preview, close. So this is basically what my report looks like. Every business is different. I know some have a lot more accounts than I have in this database here. So then from there, after you do your, the other way also, I'm sorry, is you can go to your chart of accounts listings, and you go to your reports here. You have your trial balance detail summary. This gives you the option to print this in detail. If this is not enabled, it will be summary. You can print your source names, which is based off your source types of a customer, vendor, fixed asset. And you can also use your filtering for GL accounts. If you choose not to filter to any specific GL account, you just put in your dates. And you can also go further and do GL entry types. So you can just do invoices, credit memos. But if you want to see the whole thing on all the GL accounts, you can leave everything else blank, non-filtered, and you just hit preview, or you could print that also to a PDF. And this shows you your beginning balance of the time, any total debit activities, credit activities, and your ending balance as of December 31st. Now, it's also nice, a little trick of the trade, you can filter your listing by dates also. So if you come in and do your filtered totals by, and you do the date filter, let's say I just want to see January. You see how this number changed? So it'll always show you those transactions for this amount. Now, it doesn't affect the report when you run this, but if you just want to do a quick listing and see what the transactions are, or what the balances were for that month, you can. Now, another nice feature is you can do balance at date, and you can say anything except 0. So then that kind of shrinks down your listing a little bit more, and you can see all the entries for these GL accounts for this time frame. And of course, to undo your filters, just reset them, and then it takes you back to where you need to be. Some other reports, we have just the trial balance. It shows you can do some actual changes, actual balances. You can round to the penny. And once again, you're filtering. You can filter just one GL account. You can do for just posting. And then your date filters are down here. And I believe that's pretty much all of it. Oh, you do have a GL register you can look at if you're questioning some transactions while you're trying to do your month-end closing. If you come down your GL register, you can select from a full list. And this is sorted by my created date. So you want to find your date, let's say, and we know is a purchase journal. So I want to look at this one for December. You hit OK, and you just preview and close. And then this is a GL register for those transactions. If you're questioning a transaction, you can always go to your GL register. And let's see here, we have more reports. This will be covered in later of our session here. You have by dimensions, global dimensions, you can run reports. If you choose your global dimension, customer group. It'll only show all the transactions by that dimension. And once again, the filtering is the same, and you put in your date filter and it will show you those outputs for that dimension. Now, I don't know if I have any, but we're gonna look. Yep, one report column. So actual changes, and we'll select preview. So yeah, so these transactions are now based only on that dimension value of my customer department. So now we're going to look at our general ledger setup. Now, and a nice trick of the trade also why I'm doing this, a lot of customers I find will type in all the words. You really don't need to do that. You can just do general and then set, and you can find your general ledger setup. So at this level, each month you want to put in certain date fields that only users are allowed to post to. So you'll find that you do 010125 to 013125. And with these dates set now, no users will be able to post within these transaction dates. Now, another nice feature is your user setup. This will trump the general ledger setup if a user has different allowed to and from dates. So here I'm going to say, okay, I'm allowed to post from December 1st of 2024 to January 31st of 2025, because I'm not done closing my month yet. My manager knows that, so they're going to allow me to sit here and post. And any other users in this setup with these allowed dates can also override the general ledger setup dates. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to send this over to Aldine, and she can take it over from here.
Thanks, Tracy. Nice to meet everybody. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen as well. Please let me know once you can see it. And you should be seeing my spring market. It's cold now, so I'm really hoping to see.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. All right. So for my this part of your month-end close, we're looking at sales and receivables. So one of the things we want to check when we're making sure that our sales and receivables are done at month end, we want to look at our sales orders. We want to make sure we have invoiced everything that has fallen into that period of time. Now on your sales order list, we've got some pre-built filters from Microsoft, which are very helpful. The main one you want to really focus on is that ship not invoiced. And you'll see here, I've got a couple of sales orders that I have completely shipped them, but I haven't fully invoiced for them. So if I'm looking to book that into your month that you're closing, you want to go through and see if you are actually able to close out those invoices. If you've got any return orders or credit notes that need to be posted, once you've audited your ship not invoiced and validated, you want to jump over to your credit memos as well, and also take a look at your sales invoices to make sure you've got all of those posted through. Now, another thing some people don't remember to do is to look at your customer ledgers and ensure that you've applied on all your customer payments. Now, sometimes we're taking those payments through a cash receipt journal or bank deposit. And so once those are processed, we want to make sure we go ahead and apply those to our customer invoices as well. All right, so I'm just going to pull up one of our customers here who's got quite a bit going on. We want to make sure that we have gone in and applied everything. You can see here, I've only got a couple of invoices, so I don't have any payments that are unapplied at the moment, right? So you want to make sure for that particular month that you're posting in, you've audited and ensured that you've applied payment that you've received to any open invoices that you have. Once you've cleared that, you want to go ahead and run your accounts receivable, all right? And this is going to be your reconciliation to your GL. So if we go ahead and run that, I bookmarked these. As you know, Tracy's been sharing some tips and tricks. You are able to hit this bookmark icon whenever you search. If I were to go from my general search here and search accounts receivable, and I don't need to type it all out, you'll see it falls into this report and analysis section. I can go ahead and hit a bookmark. If I do, it will show up here at the top of my list. I can click now on my accounts receivable, I can do that in as of date. In this particular case, I'll keep the date as today. We can do that aged by either transaction date, due date, or document date. And I'm going to choose my transaction date today. We can run it so it shows an overview or overdue amount by customer. And as we mentioned before, you've got detail functionality, so you can see it in summary format, or we can print some detail. And then there's some additional filtering capabilities that you've got as well. So you can filter that by specific customers. You can do that by your posting groups. If you have separated your customers by posting group, you can also do that by salesperson if that is of interest to you. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and run it right open. I usually run it in preview mode so that you're able to see at a high level, and then you can always print this to Excel if you like, or to PDF as well. So you'll see here for my aged AR, I've got my credit limit. Most of my customers have no limit. I know that might not be the case with you, but you'd see that printed here. You'll see their balance. You'll see anything current and up to that 90-day, over 90-day bucket. Okay. So I'll go ahead and close this part up. And then the last piece you want to take a look at for your sales and receivables is generating your customer statements. So we can do that one of two ways. So we can go ahead and send our customer a statement via email, or we can have that done as a batch. So there is our blog post for this month, actually. I've actually walked through how we can automate some of that functionality. So if you do have customer statements, you can use job queues in the system or batch functionality to generate your customer statements and send them out for you. So you don't actually have to do them yourself. And I've gone ahead and I've sent customer statements. I'll navigate here. You can kind of see an example. Again, we're running in Kronos, so this might not look as pretty as your customer statement, but once our customer statement is generated, I can also see all of the emails I have sent for my customers, whether I've done that in a batch format or I've done that individually. This one says failed, but it actually did pass over to me. So I could see that in my email as a test. But your customers will receive their statements. And like I said, you do have that ability to send them individually for those who do need them. And then, of course, you can send them as a batch. Now, the other part of our month-end close is our purchase and payables section. So like we did with our sales orders, on the purchase side, we want to do the same thing. So we want to go ahead and ensure we don't have anything sitting in received, not invoiced, right? So here I've got three purchase orders that I've received in full, but I have not processed an invoicing for them. So if they are falling into the period that I'm trying to close, I want to go ahead and get those invoiced. Depending on how your operations process flows, you may have one part of the business or one functional area receiving the goods and the other part invoicing. So we want to make sure our received not invoiced is clean for that month. Then we also want to check that for purchase invoices as well. Any credit notes or vendor credits that need to be applied. Then we'll go ahead and look at our vendor ledger as well. We want to make sure, just like we did with the sales side, we don't have any open payments that have not been applied. Okay, so if I navigate to our ledger entries here, you'll see I've got a couple of payments here, but I do have some open invoices that I have not paid yet. So if there is a payment that I'm putting through, I want to make sure I put that through and then go ahead and apply that to the invoices. Okay. Now, once that's done, we want to go ahead and run our aged payables. And of course, for convenience, I have bookmarked that as well. You can also do the same. This time I'm going to attempt to print some detail out for you because we've got some vendors. And I'm going to go ahead and do a preview of this. And as you can see here, I'll zoom that in for you. You can see additional detail on the payables amount. So not only is it showing me how much I've got due, it's also telling me which invoices they apply to, right? So if I'm ever looking, if you're doing a cash management functionality, I think Tracy will touch on that. But if you're looking at applying payments, when you run that payment journal, you do have that ability to kind of specify the amount you want to pay for that month, or maybe you want to call out specific um, payment methods that you want to process. Getting this detail ahead of time can really help you speed it up and streamline that process as well. Okay. I'm going to pass the baton at this point back to Tracy, and she'll pick up with some bank account tips.
Thank you, Aldine. So now I'm going to share my screen back. Oh, where did my BC go? Hold on. Stand by, technical difficulties. All right, let's go back here. Close that out. Share. This must be it here. Share. Okay. Of course, my little background saying on my laptop always gets me through the day. Okay, so now we are going to talk about our bank accounts. And like Aldine had mentioned, you want to make sure all your customer receipt payments are posted through the cash receipt journal and functions. And you want to make sure you use the right proper posting dates. As I stated earlier, when we started the webinar, you want to make sure all your bank fees, any interest earns, adjustments are all posted properly. You want to go and do your bank reconciliation next. So of course, you're not going to do your bank reconciliation on the first of every month. So you're not going to close your month end and do all of the processing all at once on one day. So you might get to your bank rec on the 10th of the month. But you're going to come in here, you'll do new. As you see, I already have one here. And with your bank rec, you can either import it or you can just do it manually. I'm going to do mine manually. I'm going to suggest my lines, which is going to bring in the statement lines here at this level. If I suggest my lines, I'm going to say for all time, because like I stated, this is an older database. And we'll just say 12/31 to 24. This will allow you to include any reverse entries. If you want to clear those and show them no longer open, this function will clear those as you do your bank rec. So I'll hit OK. So it would stop. So as you see, I only have 3 entries. Now the way the bank rec works in BC, your bank account card carries your last bank statement balance right here. And that is going to reflect on each unposted bank rec as you create them. So I'm going to come back here. So my statement ending balance for this month is 3395310. Now, of course, this field is from your actual bank statement from your bank portal. So that is the balance that you want to put into this field. Now, that balance ending statement field, an amount, needs to match your total balance. If these two do not match, you're going to have a difference and you won't be able to post. So mine match because as you see, I only have 3 transactions. There are a couple things that, let's say this one did not clear this deposit. You can come in here. You want to remove your match. And I don't know why I did both of those, but so then you just want to come in here and you can delete this line now because you don't need that on your bank statement, and that will cause your balance to be out of balance. So here are open entries. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to match that one manually. Okay, so now we see this is still going to be open at our bank ledger entries, and these 2 are going to be on the bank rec, and those will be shown closed when we do our bank rec posting. Now I do want to show you a little trick. If you come in here as there 1, it takes you right to your check ledger entries. If you hit Control-Alt-F1, you can search for your statement, and this can be even on past posted bank recs. It'll show you what statement number is on and what line number. Right now, this is showing bank account entry applied because it's on a current bank rec. But if it was closed, it would say closed here. Now, if it is on a bank rec that has been posted, you will not be able to void any checks. You would have to do a manual refund through your general journal to that check that you want to void. But since it already cleared, It's really not going to be a void. You just want to reverse that out. And you cannot reverse it if it's on a posted bank rec. So we have that. So from here, we can go to our bank. You can also get to your bank account card from here. I use the drill down. I'm a little old fashioned. So here we're going to look at our test report. And this will automatically fill in for you. I'm going to preview. Bring that up a little better. So here it says statement ending balance is not equal because I did not correct that. It still is equaling my 36,000, but it does show you any warnings. This warning of the bank reconciliation might not be possible because the GL accounts that are tied to your bank accounts through the bank posting groups are set to direct posting. That is why this warning's here. It's just a warning. It's not going to stop you from posting. This warning up here, though, will stop you from posting your statement ending balance here. Let's go back here, and I'm going to correct my statement ending balance to be $31,530.68. Now, if I run my test report again, my preview, you see that that top warning is gone now, and now everything's in balance. And of course, you can print this to PDF. You can download it. You can send it to Excel or Word doc, PDF. And now from here, I'm going to go ahead. And I wish they had a post preview on this, but they don't. But so we're just going to go ahead and post. And of course, you can do post and print. Statement. This is a good error. And I did this on purpose because I wanted you to see that the statement number needs to be filled in at the bank account also. So if I come to the bank, I go to the bank account card. So my last statement number is number 2, but I'm using statement number 2 on my bank rec. So I'm going to go ahead and update my bank account card to read number 1. And that's okay that you do that. And you can do that back and forth manually all day long, all year long. You just want to make sure that's the number previous to the statement number that you're posting. Oh, statement date. Oh, my bad. So we'll say as of 6/15/20. Yeah, that's very important. I'm sorry I haven't missed that part. So this is usually your end of the month, January 31st, 2025, etc. Now we can post. And they should have a warning on that on the test report. So this is posted now. You can open it to your bank account statement listing. Here's the actual posted bank account reconciliation, which is what it used to be called. And I'm so used to calling it that. But right now it's just called a bank account statement. Doesn't say posting or anything, but so you know it is bank account statement in your BC SaaS environment. And from there, if you want to look at past bank account statements, I just put in the word statement and you show all here. And here's your bank account statement list. So here are the 2 bank recs I have posted in my system. And what's also nice, and I'm going to make this quick because this could really be a new webinar, but you can undo these. If you undo, you hit yes, and you can make whatever changes you want. If you want to take this one off, etc. And then you can just go back and post it. So any corrections, you can hit post again. Right. Okay, we're going to get out of that. That's definitely a totally different webinar. Okay, so we did that. We ran the bank account reconciliation. What I do want to note is you always want to make sure your GL account matches your bank account balance. Now, this account is set to direct posting right now. And that was because I was doing some data and getting preparation for my webinar. But this should always have direct posting off. You never want a user to post directly to the checking account that's tied to the bank account. So if I go to my bank account, cash management, bank accounts, and you go to your checking, you can tell by the bank account posting group which GL account this is tied to. So there's your GL account. So my balance at my bank is reading 33,953.10. If I go back to my chart of accounts, it's reading, it is in balance. If it's not in balance, there's a couple ways to do that. You can come in here and use your date filter, and you can do as of last month, let's say 12/31/24. This will bring up all historical transactions up to 12/31/24. And you can do 11/30/24, etc. Whoops. Until you find where that difference occurs. And then you'll have to dig in, and most likely it's going to be at the GL account, and there's going to be a transaction in there where a user posted directly. At that point in time, you probably want to reverse it and repost that. So now we're going to look at our fixed assets. You want to run your depreciation calculation. And I do apologize, I don't have any in here, but all you have to do is run your calculation depreciation, pick your depreciation book, and always show more when it says show more, because there might be some good filtering fields that you might want to use or some pertinent fields that you need. So you want to do your posting date. You can use number of force days. Once again, this is all based on your setup and the calculation in your calendar. Your posting day, of course, defaults for that month. Document number you need. You can say December depreciation 24. You can use the same as your posting description. And you can just say F8 depreciation. This will insert the balancing account from your fixed asset setups when you're doing your depreciation. Now you can also do it just for 1 or 2 fixed assets, or if it's blank, you can do it for all. And you can use this filtering, which is really nice if you just want to do it for class codes, subclass codes, anything from the fixed asset card. You can go ahead and choose that and filter at that level. I'm just going to do no filters. If you hit OK, these will then go to a general journal, your fixed asset general journal, and then that's where you would post. I do apologize, I was not prepared for this portion, but if you go to your fixed assets and you go GL, fixed asset general journal, this is where all your depreciations will populate. And your insert balance account from the setup page, criteria page, you'll see your fixed asset here, and then the next line will be your jail account for your depreciation based on your fixed asset posting setups. And if you can scan through them, look at them, you're all happy with them, you can just hit post. What's nice about this, you can do your preview posting or your test report. One more trick of the trade I want to show you is this reconciliation account on your GL account cards. 99.9% of the time, this is disabled. And what this does is if you are at a general journal and let's say you're not a CPA, you're just beginning, you're out of high school or out of your master's, but you're not sure if you did your debit or credit correctly. You can come in here and look at your test report. If you click on preview, enabling that reconciliation account field will show you down below what the balance will be after you're done posting to those GL accounts. I always love this feature. And like I said, 99.100% time that's not enabled. So I do recommend you going into your finance chart of accounts and enabling that button there. And then when you're questioning yourself, when you're making a transaction, you can say, oh, shoot, that should have been a credit. I did that backwards, or vice versa. And then you can go into your journal, correct the entry, run the test report again. You'll say, yes, that's what I wanted. Then you can post. But like I said, that's just a good trick of the trade, and you want to make sure that's enabled if you want to use your test report preview. And that's for your sales journal, your purchase journals, your general journals, payment journals, all that good stuff. And now I'm going to send it back over to Aldine for her inventory.
I want to say that's sort of my favorite part of the month end close process, but you know, I'm a little partial at this point. All right, so there are a couple of things we want to do with inventory. Depending on the size of your company, sometimes the inventory, you'll have your count done by your warehouse team or someone in the warehouse side, or it might be you in accounting that's doing that. So a couple of different ways we could do inventory. One of the ways I recommend is through your physical inventory journal. If I go there first, I can go ahead and take a look at my inventory. So I run my calculate process. I'm going to use today's date, and I'm going to say, I'm going to give a document number of test 2025. And then I can choose whether I want it to show items that are not in inventory, right? Or I can include items that don't have a transaction on them. I can run it by location. If I've got bins in there, I can do that as well. If there's specific items I want to calculate for, I could do that. So lots of great filters you can use, but I'll run it wide open for now. And what this does is it will calculate all the inventory you've got, or all the inventory things you have. And then as you do your count, you're able to say, this is what systems calculated. this is actually what I've got on hand, right? And if you've got any discrepancies between what the system has calculated and what you've got, you can go ahead and update that on the column marked quantity for your physical inventory. As I put values in, you'll see my quantity on the side here get updated. And if I make this a little bit bigger for you, you'll notice it changed the entry type from a positive adjustment to a negative. And what it's actually doing is it's taking a look and it's making a calculation to say, it thought I had 115. I'm now saying my physical count is 100. So it's going to do a negative adjustment of 15 for me. It also displays the unit amount that I got that's coming from my item card. And it does do a total amount as well of that adjustment. So you are able to get a feel as to what your total adjustment is going to be, both in terms of units and from a cost. This is a preferred way to do your physical inventory if you're not using an advanced warehousing tool like an ISV. You can run that with a physical inventory journal, and once you post that through, it will do an adjustment on your inventory. Another way to do this is through the item journal. The main disadvantage with the item journal, it does not run that lovely functionality that it does on the physical inventory journal. If you are doing or using advanced warehousing, where you're using a double journal, where you use the warehouse journal first, if you do a calculate warehouse adjustment, if we do have, and in this particular case, I don't have any advanced warehousing setup, but it will calculate the adjustments that the warehouse have already posted through, and it will populate your item journal here, so you don't have to rekey those entries again. However, if you are purely going off of an adjustment based on counts, or maybe just based on what you've been told, you can also do that through the item journal. You would just indicate whether it's a positive or a negative adjustment depending on the item and the quantity. You would select that there. We give it a document number if you don't already have a number series on your journal. So we can call that Web 2025 here. And I can select my item. Go ahead and indicate necessary information on the journal, and I can go ahead and post that through. Okay, so I'm going to say I have counted and I am out 1. So here you need to put the difference, whereas a physical inventory journal will show you the calculated. You can put the quantity you've put in, and then it will calculate the difference. On the item journal, you want to actually put the difference, right? So it adjusts it down. So in this particular case, let's go ahead and post through and confirm that I have, lost 1 piece of inventory. So you want to make sure all your counts, all your inventory adjustments have been posted. If you're not using the physical inventory journal, then you're ensuring that you are using your item journal and the item adjustments are posted through. You want to also check if there are multiple batches. I know for some companies, you may have users that have their own batches. You want to make sure all those batches are posted through and that is clean. Okay. Then the other thing you want to do once everything's been posted through from an inventory perspective, you want to run your inventory to GL report. Now, again, I've bookmarked it, so it's pretty easy. I could do my inventory to GL reconcile as of today. You can do it as of whatever date you've got as your end of month or end of period, right? I do know some companies don't go by calendar month. You'll put in your as of date. You can have it break down by location, should you choose to. And again, you've got some additional filters. So we can do this reconciliation by your posting group on the inventory side. If you've got different costing methods for different items, you can specify so you can look at that by costing method. And of course, you've got your location and variant option as well. You can also add a filter. So you can go in and look at the date if you prefer, or you can look at a bin filter, etc. I'm going to go ahead and preview this version here. All right, and on my reconcile report, you'll see I have 3 pages of reconciliation. I'm just going to navigate to the bottom and just make this a little bit bigger. Here, maybe a little too big. Okay, so at the end, it's telling me my total inventory valuation, right? It's also doing a count and summing the amount that I haven't received, not invoiced, right? So this is all my POs that I've got open that haven't been invoiced yet. I've got my shipped, not invoiced. So this is all the stuff that I've shipped, but I have not invoiced my customer yet. And so there's a total expected cost, which you'll see is a net of these 2 values. You'll see expected cost to be posted to my GL is the net between what I'm expected to pay out and then the amount I'm expected to collect from my customer. And of course, you'll see an invoiced value, which is everything I've invoiced to date. Invoice value that's already been posted to the GL is here. And then inventory value to be posted, you'll see my total here. Okay. So this is a really good report to just do another audit. We talked about, ensuring your sales orders are cleaned up. You've got everything that's been received and invoiced in the period. Same on the purchase side, everything's been received and invoiced. This is a great way to kind of double check to make sure you haven't missed anything. And then another key piece, once you've reconciled, is to ensure that you run your adjust cost. Now, some people don't run it before they run the reports. I recommend you run it before the reports and potentially even after the report. I'll run this wide open right now for my adjust cost, and anything that I've got sitting that needs to be adjusted, if I've got item charges or anything else that's been posted, it will go through and it will adjust my item unit cost. And then I can go ahead and run my inventory valuation report. All right, another good one to bookmark if you are running that pretty frequently. I'll do that as of today's date. Again, I've got the option to do some additional filtering as required. I'm not going to do any filtering at this point. I've got only 2 locations, I think, that are actively transacting. So I'll go ahead and run that open. And you'll see my inventory value would have matched my expected, my inventory to GL report as an inventory value, because this is showing now everything that I've got in inventory and the actual value of it. Okay. You want to ensure your quantities and your unit costs look good. And if they don't look at what you're expecting, you might want to run that adjust cost one more time. But as long as it looks correct, you can capture your inventory value. And that closes out your inventory valuation and the inventory section of your monthly process. I think I can hand over to either Tracy or Angela.
Yep. Thank you, Aldine. I'm going to hand it over to Angie.
Thank you, ladies. That was very informative. We do have a couple of questions for you. The first one is there a way to set up month-end reports to run automatically at the end of the last day of the month?
That's a very good question. Of course, it depends what reports you really want to run. There is some job queues you can set up for your customer statements to send those. Basically, trial balances and things. No, I do not believe there's an automation for those to run automatically and emailed. But that's something we can definitely look into and get back to you if we need. But those are pretty much ran. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that that's something that if you would like it, it's a fairly light lift modification where you could specify the period that you would like, and we can set something up to run on a job queue for you.
Okay. And the next one is adjust code always required, or does that depend on company setup?
Could you repeat that?
I think she meant adjust cost. If it's
I'm sorry,
always
adjust
required.
cost. I'm sorry. Yes, is adjust cost always required, or does that depend on company setup? I apologize.
So there is some of that is related to company setup, and a lot of that is related to item setup as well. So if you're using things like item charges, so you're using or charge items, right? You're using things like freight or storage costs that you're adding to the unit cost of the item, then you absolutely want to be running your adjust cost. If you are purely doing what I'd call like a distribution environment, there's no value add being added to the item using an item charge or any other cost unit cost adjustments. You're not doing anything with manufacturing, anything like that, where you're doing revaluations. Then you could potentially get away with without explicitly running adjust costs. But you should also note that there are some processes in the system that automatically run adjust cost or trigger adjust cost to get ran automatically. So it really does depend on your setup. And if Tracy wants to weigh in on that too.
No, you covered that perfectly. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And one last one. Is there a way to run a report for purchase clearing?
Aldine, I think that might be you.
Purchase clearing? I'm not sure I understand what they mean by purchase clearing.
Okay, so the person who asked that, can you be more specific? It just says anonymous, so I can't actually pinpoint who.
No worries.
And if we can't get
Well, purchase
the,
clearing is typically called when you apply a purchase invoice, when it's found in the purchasing module, the report will match outstanding purchase invoices with received purchase orders. If I'm correct, the attendee can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
okay, I think I have a clarification. Is there an actual report that quickly shows the layers of your FIFO costing by part number with respective quantities that can be exported to Excel?
Can you ask that one more time, the last part? Because I got the FIFO.
The FIFO costing by part number with respective quantities that can be exported to Excel.
The short answer is yes, we could pull it out in Excel. That would just be really your filters, potentially on the item ledger. So if you've got your costing method as FIFO, you've got your different items with quantities, we could pull that information out on your item ledger to show you what that looks like. If you're looking at like item charges related to an item that is FIFO, then yes, we could still extract that, but you're probably looking at value entries at that point, right? Because you've got maybe freight or any other surcharge that you're adding. We can export it that way. So short answer is yes. I asked for more details actually, but you can actually export that to Excel, or you can use Business Central's pivot feature. So I think I'm still sharing my screen, right?
Yes, you are.
So in your item ledger entries, just recently I showed a client how to do this. There is this analyze functionality. So if there are specific things we're trying to capture, let's say, so I want to analyze a specific item. So let me back out a bit, maybe give it a filter here. So if I go ahead and I put a filter, I'm going to filter to this item as an example, right? I can do an analysis on this item by going into my analysis mode, right? And I can also save this if I want to. If I want to break down and kind of see by entry type, it operates pretty much like a pivot table. So I can group my entry type into rows if I want to, right? And I can see all my negative adjustments. I can see all my sale entries, and I can see all my purchases. I can throw that into columns if I like. So I can go into pivot mode and actually see the sum. So analysis mode is pretty powerful. If you have identified the type of data you're looking for, most of your entry pages will have the analysis mode built in. So if you're looking to analyze your FIFO item data, or you're looking at your value entries, you're able to do something like this and not have to export it to Excel. And as you can see, it's really plug and play, really easy. I can, take out or add. The only difference is I can't make any calculations per se, so I can't add the columns or anything like that. But I can actually, pull most of that information in here and kind of do a quick snapshot analysis of it. So hopefully that helps. If not, feel free to shoot us an email and we can connect with you after.
We do have one more question. Is there a way to run a report that shows received, not invoice at a given date? I see there is a reconcile AP to GL report, but it doesn't have a date filter. And just a reminder to everyone, if you need more in-depth answers, if we need to explain more, please let us know, and Tracy or Aldine can contact you.
For sure. I don't know if this is kind of what they're after, but if you go to that receive not an invoice screen, you can actually add the document date in there, or you can look at a created date. You've got a couple different date fields you could play with here if you want to take a quick peek from the purchase order side.
Okay, well, if nobody has any further questions, we'll go ahead and start to wrap. Thank you, ladies, for the presentation, and thank you for everyone joining us today and taking the time out to watch the presentation. I did put a link in the chat earlier to register for our customer conference that is being held on April 22nd and 23rd in Indianapolis, Indiana. And you can also check out our website, check out our resources page on our website at innovia.com/resources. And you can check out all of the content that we have on Business Central and our events. And I'll put that information in the chat for you as well. And don't forget to take our survey at the end of this webinar. Your responses will help us with future material and improvement. And we just thank you again, everyone, for attending. And we look forward to seeing you soon at another Innovia webinar.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks, everybody.